101.5 FM. We are coming live at you from Boyle Heights, California. We are broadcasting live off of Brooklyn Avenue, and we are, this is Dr. J. Martinez here, and we are tuned into Tab Radio, and I have local artists, soul R&B artists, recording independent artists,
yes,
and self-published poetress, and she's here to talk to us today about her new EP, Stages of Recovery. I have Honey Allure with us live in our studio. Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good. We heard that was changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the EP.
Yes.
So before we get into all that, tell us about yourself, because I know you were born in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Raised in Dallas.
No, Houston.
Raised in Houston, excuse me. Raised in Houston. I apologize. I did
That's
all
okay,
my
okay.
homework too. Believe that? Can you believe that? And you, at about 2015, you decided to come here to Los Angeles, where you just had, here was the space that you felt compelled to work on your writing and your music,
Yes.
right? And I want to just let everyone know that this is third EP under the belt, and we've got 2 published works of poetry
Yes.
right here as well under your belt, right? So everyone, Honey Allure here is no joke. She's working hard,
Yes.
and everyone's gonna be taking notice. So go ahead, please. I'm gonna just stay quiet, and I'm gonna let you tell us your story.
Awesome.
Please.
Okay, so, well, my name is Honey Allure. I was raised in Houston, Texas. I moved out here in 2015. Just decided that I wanted to go after, my dreams, because I knew that singing and poetry has just always been the only way that I can express myself and feel free and feel understood, So I got into music, just like growing up in the church, like singing in the choir. So that, I wouldn't say that's what started me into music per se, because like music has just been in my soul, but the singing aspect came from that. And then poetry, I started writing poetry when I was 14, and I had this notebook, like a green notebook I'll never forget, and I had a teacher named Mrs. Ramos, and I was in 9th grade, and I remember she picked it up and she read a few pages, and she was like, "You should do something with your poetry one day. Like she was like, you write really good poetry." And she cried like when she was reading it, and I'm in 9th grade, and I'm like, I'm just 14. I just have to express myself, because I like went through so much as a child, So
Was she one of the first adults that gave you a good positive reaction to your writings? Because you're 14 and you made an adult cry with your words. So was she one of the first that you opened up to, that you expressed your abilities with?
I would say yeah. Honestly, like as far as poetry, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Okay, so here we are, we're 14. And that did something for us, right?
Yes,
right?
That did a lot.
Right, okay. So what did Miss Ramos do? What was your response after all that?
Yeah, so when she told me that, I remember just kind of looking at her, and it confused me, because in my head, I'm just writing, I'm a kid, so I'm just writing because, like, if I don't, like, I don't know what else I'm going to do, So after she said that, it set in the back of my head, just growing up. So I remember when I turned 18, I just thought to myself, like, I literally sat in the car with a friend. We were riding around Houston just one night, and I literally, like, pictured myself in LA, and I manifested, like, just starting a new life and bettering myself and going after what I love, So, and then 2 months later, I ended up in California with $50 in a suitcase, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it happen, because like in Texas, you have to go big or go home.
Yes.
Yeah, and I wasn't going home, so yeah.
You didn't plan on going back, right?
Never.
It was once I go over there, once I'm looking at what I'm manifesting here, once I roll out, I'm not coming back.
Exactly.
Okay, so it was worth the risk, and it was worth opportunity.
Yes,
right?
yes, it was worth everything. It came with a lot of lessons.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I would definitely say it was worth everything because it brought me so much peace after all of the pain.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And a lot of us that do know you and that know of your work, one of the things that you've always been open about has been that pain, right? And we have it. You share it through the books. There's so many topics that you cover. Same thing with the albums. Each album has a theme, and our theme for this one was recovery.
Yes.
Right? Wasn't it? So share with us stages of recovery, because we have some really good themes that are going into the whole thematic themes itself.
Okay, well, so stages of recovery came about, I would say, so it's crazy because I was telling my friend this the other day. I write my poetries and I write poems before the songs come along, you know?
Yes.
And then my poems will write themselves before the experience in my life happens. So then an experience in my life will happen. Like, for instance, my song, it isn't on this particular EP, it's on Stages of Pain. But I remember I went through a lot with a ex, and it was called Pieces. Like, I was talking about giving so much of myself away. So I would say that kind of led into stages of recovery as well, and that's where surrender came from. Because now I came to a point where, like, okay, how am I going to piece myself back together after all of this pain, you know?
Yeah.
So stages of recovery came from not looking for anyone else for healing and, like, searching within, you know, which was hard because, like, I ran from my problems for a long time, and I talk about that in stages of recovery, you know. So yeah.
Well, even the first track, Deja Vu, which of course, let's say it's out on video, so we can find it. So the more we explore Honey Allure, we're definitely going to see that video. But
Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome. But that video itself is already deep.
Yeah.
And the meanings already that you're going to in terms of our topic of recovery.
Yes.
And you know what you have that I really like that you added in that video that I thought was a wonderful touch?
Please tell me the therapist.
Yes, when you had your therapist. You know what I saw it though? I saw it as your sponsor because you know, just I that's where I went. I went like the that route. So that was your sponsor that was there, and then we watched the video, and the video gives us all the story, and even in the story, you have like these admissions of how you left. Stains on the floor, how you left even in your clothes for a couple days.
And
so that
funny story.
What's up?
So
yay,
I'm having an aha moment. So this Deja Vu actually was written in my second book as a poem. It wasn't titled Deja Vu, but I literally wrote, it's funny how the cookie crumbles and chaos seems something of normal.
Yes.
You know, so last year was so much for me because, I talk about how I lost my baby last year. I ended up going to rehab last year. Like, a lot happened for me because I literally was like trying to still get a hold of myself, which is how I even am still here, you know? So yeah, that Deja Vu actually wrote itself before it happened because when I started to write this song, I was listening to the beat and I'm like, I have a poem that goes right with this. So that's why I say in all of my bios, I say like I turn poetry into music because that's just how it happens.
And even as you're going through the poetry, you hear music coming out of a lot of it, even through the paintings that you included.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell you what, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump to another track from the new EP, Stages of Recovery, and we're gonna explore more of the music, and we'll still be able to get into poetry, and we'll still be able into. I'm gonna even try to get as many exclusive information as I can, because I know you got
Yes.
so much coming for us.
I do.
And we're gonna share that. And we're gonna share more here with Honey Allure at KQBHLP, Los Angeles, California, 101.5 FM. And you guys can stream us anywhere around the world at lpfm.la. This is
Y'all don't go nowhere.
This is KQBHLP, Los Angeles, California, 101.5 FM. This is Patrick J. Martinez here. We are tuned in to Ham Radio. This is Monday night's favorite mixed music genre radio show, in which we talk about pop culture and entertainment. And tonight, in our entertainment and pop culture both meet together perfectly here, I have Honey Allure. Honey Allure is in local Los Angeles independent recording artist, heavy on the soul and R&B, and we just listened to one of her new tracks off her new EP, Stages of Recovery.
Yes.
And did you want to talk about that track before we get into a lot of our other topics we're going to cover?
Sure. Surrender is actually one of my favorite on the EP. It actually sounded totally different before.
Really?
Yeah. So this song, I wrote it in the midst of my depression last year, and I actually performed it at my first show, but it literally was just repetitive a bit. I just kept saying, you said you'd take care of me. I was talking about someone else. So now that I'm in my healing stage and that I'm, looking within, I'm like, what? I gotta take care of me, So yeah. That I love Surrender. I love that song.
And surrender in this manner is surrendering to yourself, right?
Yeah, and then just surrendering to like things that I can't control, surrendering to like the past, and just a lot, just trauma and just moving on, because I in the past I've had like a problem with control, like just trying to, because of my childhood, because I went through so much growing up, I just wanted to control everything, like so that so I had the upper hand, oh, you can't leave me because I'll leave first, something like that. So. And
then as you're surrendering to all that, that's what the recovery is. It's you got to surrender to your mistakes.
Exactly. And that's sometimes that's the hardest part is accountability, and sometimes having to tell yourself like, well, I put myself like in that, So yeah, no one wants to take accountability, but it makes you grow. Yeah, for sure.
And that's definitely what we explore through the new EP. And as we get through the hour, there was 2 other songs I had ready for us that came from the first album, from Stages of Love 2, that I want to get into. And I want to remind everyone listening that Honey Allure here has been putting in work, and not just with the books and the EPs. She's been caught vibing and curating a lot of stuff with other people, other names that we are all familiar with. But the one thing that I gotta say and remind everyone that, and this is one of the things, Honey, that we always try to get across when anyone comes to visit us, is the independent aspect of what you do. Because you just told us, here I was in a car, some friends, and we're thinking about what we're gonna do. Once I roll out, and I'm done. And you've been doing it, and you've been doing it on an independent level, which tells me, even as I'm doing what I'm doing, there's no real excuse not to do it and not to go for it, right?
Yeah, no excuse. And I say that because you said you had some songs from Stages of Love to play.
Yes.
And I was literally just talking to my friend before getting here. Like, I recorded Stages of Love homeless. In the midst of the pandemic, I got robbed at where I was staying, so I up and left. Ended up homeless, but I still needed to get that EP out. So literally, a friend of mine, shout out to Vicodin, he's in Cleveland, Ohio. But him and I, we literally, I was in and out of hotel rooms, Airbnb, sometimes my car. But I recorded that EP, and he helped me, and we got it done, and I put it out. So like, it's never an excuse.
Yes.
Like, there are people out there that, you know, like, that are disabled and still choose to do things, you know. And going after your dream, the only thing that's in front of anyone is themselves, you know.
Yes.
And I was in front of myself for a long time before I even put out my music, you know, because I moved here in 2015. That song Stages, Wanna Be Loved, on my very first song I dropped, I wrote that like 3 years before it came out, you know. So sometimes we have to get out of our own way. That's why I wrote the song Mind Games too. Like, sometimes we can play like games with ourselves, like, you know.
Yes. And just to hear you share like where you were during the whole process and development of that first EP, and that came out strong too, right? As soon as you dropped it, that had like
that's my baby.
Strong following in terms of streams. Everyone just hopped on it, and everyone was listening to that, right? So let's can we visit that moment for a bit, if you don't mind? How was that?
That was actually like, it was like surreal for me, because I was kind of like scared in a way before I put out my music, because, you know, we always sometimes, you know, other people's thoughts can get to us, and like Erykah Badu said it, like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive, you know, I'm really sensitive. So I was very like a little hesitant when I put it out. I'm like, ooh, are people gonna like my voice? Are people gonna accept my messages? Are people gonna understand where I'm coming from? Because that's why I even do this, you know. And I do it like to heal and help others through my experiences as well. But yes, like, Wanna Be Loved happens to be like one of my biggest songs, and it's like my baby. Like, that song came from literally me and my friend that's here with me today. We were literally sitting in his house, and this song comes on, and I'm like, what? This beat comes on, and I'm like, who produced this? Like, I need to record this now. Like, so that's where that came from. So I say to like anyone that wants to do something and is hesitant about doing it, like, the only thing that's stopping you is you, and if you don't do it, then you don't really want to do it.
Yes.
Because we only have one life, and like, I'm literally working on a song right now that's saying like I'm literally saying in the song, I have to make it. Like, my heart won't accept anything else. So with that in my mind, that's what I go by every day, you know.
That's the driving force. That's what gets you going. That's your mission statement.
Yeah. And making it means a lot of different things.
Yes.
Some people think it just means like one thing, but it means a lot of different things. I
mean, okay, so as I'll step out and just be a listener, right? And a reader. I can safely say you're making it, right? Because these are heavy materials to put out. Like, this is I could just imagine. So someone out there even trying to get their words out in print. I mean, this is even something that can scare someone. And even doing the music, like laying down the music, finding a producer, doing all that stuff, even the production aspect.
It's a lot.
So it's a lot, right? That can go in, and so that personal mission.
And you have to have not to cut you off.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was gonna say, you have to have a certain kind of drive. Like, I feel like right now, I'm in like I was telling my friend, I'm in like my starving artist hungry days. So we're like, I'm like, ooh, I gotta finish this song today, because I'm constantly working on new music this year, and I have like 3 more projects planned out, you know. And I'm actually working on a vegan poetry cookbook.
Yes, which we are definitely gonna give ourselves some time to talk about, right?
Sorry?
No, we will, because that's just enough to feed them. So they'll come back.
Okay, cool.
Because I definitely want to get them back, because it's the vegan too. Because you also share that I've noticed too as part of your, your portfolio of you. And speaking of the portfolio of you, okay, because
sorry about that. I can get to telling too much too soon.
No, not at all. See, that's kind of the whole beauty of you, because we could really cover a lot of what you do in even in a couple installments of these. Because because look at right now we're focusing on the the published part, the poetry part. We got the music, we have the modeling part, we have the entrepreneurial part, because it takes a boss to do this and to do that, and to get things like this taken care of as part of your brand. So there's a lot that we definitely can cover. And again, with the Vegan Cookbook, that's another thing that we're going to be finding out. We'll be definitely seeing this, and we get to hear some of the exclusiveness to that. But no, you're right though, because there's so much to share, right, about you, because there's so much that everyone needs to know.
Exactly.
And yeah, right. No, I agree. This is a KQBH-LP, Los Angeles, California, 101.5 FM, a community service of the Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory. We are broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on lpfm.la. If you guys happen to be in the Los Angeles area, the East Los Angeles, Boyle Heights, San Gabriel Valley areas, I definitely suggest you check us out on your broadcast airwaves, on the air at 101.5 FM. So get that transistor out, that boom box out, leave it at 101.5 FM. Anywhere around the world, though. Painfully beautiful and beautifully painful, which are self-published pieces, right?
Yes.
And I always stress that. Like I said, it's important, because it's the strength and longevity that we have as artists that are promoting and pushing themselves.
And let me tell you, getting words inside the margins was a lot. That was the longest process of the book, was just getting the margins correct. Took like a month, almost a month and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work that you got to do that goes into. There's a lot of production here, and there's a lot that we have here. So in a lot of this, you've shared the trials you've gone through, and it's very, very raw, very open. A lot of material, right? That we hear from abuse from outside, self-abuse. Now, with all of that, because there's always one thing I find when I talk to artists of all types, is the success that I see, despite what's going on, there always seems to be a strong support piece. Now, right now, as we talk and we have a support piece, even if it's Cam with us, we got Cam here, or just anyone else, I always like to say, let's also celebrate the support piece you have, just because I find that seems to be part of ingredients to the whole success.
Yeah. Well, support wise, I would say, I have a friend in Cleveland, so his name's Brent, but his producer name is Vicodin. So Vicodin, my friend that's here with me today, Cameron, my family, I would say they're supportive, but not as supportive as, just close friends that I have built with here.
Yes.
But they support my dream, of course, and they, every time I drop something, they get it or they listen.
Good.
And they give me their feedback. As far as just, other than that, I would say a lot of my support comes from, my determination to just get what I want in life. Yeah.
You push
the
yourself
tenacity, yes.
to support yourself too. So you're doing all the roles to make sure you're staying on track, right?
Yes.
Right on. So, should we cut to another one, or should we get into the like I said, there's so much we could talk about, but we should also, do you want to cover some of the books?
Yeah.
Right now, you want to get into that?
Yeah, let's do it.
So here we are. because like I said, there's so much that you have
Mm-hmm.
as a canvas,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we were using here pen and paper. So what had us get into doing the first book? What compelled you, pushed you, and had you commit to it?
So for No Vacancies, I literally started, so I've always written poetry like in my phone, because after so my notebook that I had when I was 14 and it got stolen, like, and it like did something to me, so I've always like made sure I had copies of like my poetry in places. So yeah, I had just a compilation of poetry in my notes, and then one day I'm like, I'm gonna put this in a book, like, and it just started with that thought, and then like I out of nowhere ended up dating some guy who had a cousin that was about to put out a book, and she kind of told me like, oh, I published through Amazon, you know, like that. So I'm like, so I just started moving over my poems, and then I added I think I had about 50 or 60 poems written. So I added 20 more, because the way I write poetry, I write it through my experience. So most of the time I write it as I'm going through something, or like if I'm thinking about something that I just need to express, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how the book came about.
And you know what? Let's go to the pacing, like you say, because I really like the pacing of both books. I like...
But I must say, I do have a lot of, because I want to retract on something I said about my support. I do get a lot of support from my friend Cameron and Brent. They are very big supporters in my music career.
Oh, we're definitely going to celebrate them, because, you know, it's gotten, their support has been able to get you and us 3 albums and 2 books.
Yes.
Out of it, and we're here, and we're a lot of us are here.
Period. I have to just say that real quick.
No, good. No, that's what we need to celebrate. And to go to the pacing, this is what I like, because you said that when you do the poetry, you're doing it there in moment, in that real time. And from both, that's what I liked. I liked how the format pivots away from all these other poetry formats that we know, and the pacing is, when I read it, it goes like this. When I'm reading, I'm like, and then I'll go back. It's almost as if when we read it, or when I read it, like, I'm only going to speak for myself. That's all I can speak for. That's how it is. I do feel that. I do feel like they're written right there, real time, because even as I'm pacing through the thoughts and through the work.
One of my favorite.
I love it. So that's what I'm saying. I love it. Is really what I'm saying.
Oh no! Oh, thank you so much. I always, when people tell me like, oh, like I really enjoy your poetry or your song, I get like a child in a candy store. I'm like, oh, thank you.
No, it's good because we're there with you. That's what I like about it. I'm here with you, in your head, in your mind, as you're doing that. Which is cool,
and
because
seeing your reaction right now just warmed my heart.
I don't know. It just that's how I like it. So I'm just saying it's a big compliment. I probably didn't say it right or clear. Or
no, it's okay. No.
But that's how. See, because like I even had where to go back and to make sure we go over it again. But no, that's what I really liked about it. Especially, like I said, the style break of the poetry. And the way it's, because here we have just a couple lines, and then we have a nice full narrative, and then we get art and everything. So that's what I like about it. It breaks some of the styles of poetry. And why I also like that too is because I think these could be tools for students, for them to really understand that they don't have to be regimented or guideline.
Exactly.
That they just get it out. Yeah, that's what I love about it. That's why I love the pivot. That's why, like you said, when you write them like that in that real time, I'm there with you. Like, this is like, I'm like there with you, and I'm like. But
thank you.
No, you're welcome. And you know what? Because I can only imagine. Let's go back to that thought that you had, because I can only imagine how that can leave you apprehensive, even as you've shared these, because it's already published, it's already out there, so it's not like it's a big secret. But how is that? Just even as you're watching me do this, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
But even as
okay.
you're watching me going through your work here, how does?
So I would say that I'm more, I would say, shyer when it comes to my poetry opposed to my music, because my poetry is more inside of my mind, you know? So I'm always like, when I see people like read my poetry, I'm always like, I always like to see, because it's like sometimes you can either have like one or two thoughts like, she's really deep, or she's been through a lot, you know? So
Hey, look, you put these out. This is you sharing, and just like anything else, people are gonna have their individual response to how they share it, but it's really what we get to walk away with it is insightful.
Yeah, and what makes me like really appreciative that I did release my books is like your reaction right now. And sometimes when women or even men have hit me up or messaged me and said to me like, I really enjoyed this poem, it spoke to me, or this has really helped me move on from a situation, or this has really spoke to me because I had this happen to me and I couldn't tell anyone, you know? So things like that is what tells me like you're doing the right thing, you know? And it's crazy, when I was younger, I was raised Baptist, but it was prophesied over my life that I would do certain things, and one of those things was write books. So it's beautiful to see how life unfolds, and now I'm over here writing books and releasing music and stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? We are going to continue writing books, because what we're going to do is we're going to take about a 3-minute break. We're going to pull from the first EP. This is KQBH 101.5 FM. This is Patrick J. Martinez here. We are here live. California. That was Wanna Be Loved. That was taken from the stages of Love, the first EP that Honey Allure put out, whom we have live with us. And in fact, yes, we are back again. And you actually had shared that story, so those who have been here with the whole hour, we definitely got good insight on that. So
Yes.
we were here talking about the poetry, and Ms. Allure was right. It would be amiss if we didn't have her recite one of her pieces before we get into, the end of our hour. We still got 15 minutes, and she definitely wants to bless us with the recital. She's going through, and we're gonna give her a moment.
Flipping through the pages here.
Yes. No, this is cool.
Yes, I love this.
And it's just cool to see as she's going through the her words and see what she's gonna pick. It's just cool sitting here with an artist as they're about to recite as they go through their book. That gotta be.
Yes.
I imagine that's surreal for her. It's so cool for me.
Yeah,
That's surreal for
it's
her.
beautiful, especially for you when you brought the books in here. I'm like, okay, he got both of them. I love that. Yes, thank you so much, Patrick.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited. Okay, so I'm actually, because I did talk about pieces earlier.
Yes.
So I'm like, might as well bless them with pieces. Okay, so this is called Pieces. Pieces of me I gave away in hopes of finding love. Pieces of me became pieces of other people in search for love. And search for someone to really be the one. Searching for pieces that's been missing. Pieces that are out there. Dang it, why are there so many pieces? Searching for another piece to complete me, which will probably end up being a piece of myself I end up giving away in hopes that someone would stay. Snaps for the That's one of my personal favorite poems, because I feel like as human beings, like we all do that. We all have experienced that in some kind of way. So yeah, I love that poem. And that poem is Pieces from No Vacancies. If anyone interested.
And again, it's as you said, it's one of those pieces in which we went from poem into into single to song.
Oh, and we might as well
What?
read the poem that turned into Deja Vu.
All right, let's hear it.
Can't forget about that one. That one's actually really amazing. It's beautiful to see now, like what comes from like just times where you feel like you can't talk to anyone. And this was one of those times. So let me find that poem.
And like I said too, the format in which it was written is just wonderful. It's because you can't miss them. They're right there. They're gonna be right next to your bed. They're right there on your coffee table, and you can't miss them.
Oh, this is actually another one. I'll read this one instead.
Okay.
This is called. Well, no, I think I should read the one. Wait, it's hard. Hold on.
No, it's go ahead, don't do it. You know, you have art too that you're going through. I'm gonna write everyone. There's art pieces in there
Yes.
throughout the book.
Yeah, I wanted to get it when I first published it. I wanted to get it printed in color, but
Yes.
yeah.
No, this is actually. I do like the.
Oh, you
the
actually
black pictures.
you put a star on this page. So yeah, this is okay. Period. Okay, so this is an untitled piece by me. I guess it's called Deja Vu now. But yeah, this is the poem that turned into a song, Deja Vu. So it says, funny how the cookie crumbles in the way the tables always seem to rumble when chaos seems something abnormal, with milk spilling on the floor with 2 days of no cleanup, getting up to wipe off the makeup that's been on for 5 days and 3 days of no shower, sadness creeping in with no intentions of leaving, and the thoughts flood in with tides strong as ever, leaving me overthinking, waking up screaming, how did I end up here, calling all my friends but getting no ear, trying to speak but my projection is off, my mind is cluttered, my body's fluttered, I need to get it together before I lose it forever.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. That felt good reading that.
Did it?
Yeah.
No, yeah. When you felt compelled and you had the, you know, I was like, do it, read it.
Yes.
Don't fight it.
Thank you.
Let's do it. You're welcome. No, thank you for that.
No, when I said, oh, I think I should read this one, I found another poem that turned into another song. It's called Mask, but yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? And
Thank you for allowing me to share that.
no, thank you for that. And since we're here talking about the books, you know, one of the things that you are going to be focusing on for this year is actually a cookbook, right? A vegan cookbook.
Yes.
How much do you want to share with us on that?
So my vegan cookbook will be released January of 2023. I have to take time to, you know, make my own original recipes.
Yes.
So far I have 7 and they're all fire. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have poetry in between each page.
Yes.
So I find myself writing the book right now. Lately I'll get up and feel a mood like, ooh, I'm feeling like I want croissants or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll make something out of that. And then I'll write a poem. Or I'll like go outside and ground myself, and then I'll write the same day, so that poem goes with, you know, that page in the book. So hopefully it gives people a feeling of, and I'm gonna suggest music to play while you're cooking it. So hopefully
that's some of the magic, right? When we're doing that,
you have to
and then
have
the science of it, you gotta
exactly.
get
the vibe going, the seasoning,
right?
You know.
Yes. And it's season because it's vegan, right?
Vegan.
Are you strict vegan on your diet and your lifestyle?
Yes. Okay. So I'm not like like I don't like to use face products that have animal, like anything that uses animal products I don't like to use, but I'm not like a like a crazy vegan, like people that like go up like, oh my god, like get that out, you know. Yeah. But I personally prefer people. I inform friends about better lifestyle choices.
And that's really what this book is about. It's to inform everyone about vegan food while at the same time, because I know you're gonna let us know that it's not boring and that anyone could do it.
Oh no, it's
and you can psych everyone out. I I already know what to expect.
Yeah, and then like I was raised in Houston, and my aunt taught me how to cook, so it's a lot of flavor happening in between these pages. Okay?
Yes, in between. It's not just the food. It's the food. We got we're gonna get your reactions to the food through the poetry, and then we're gonna get music all combined. And when I say like I kind of know what I'm gonna expect, I know it's gonna be you're gonna blow it out the water with that. But in terms of like what to get out of it, I'm like, yes, I see it. I see it. I can start to. Yeah,
it's a little food for the soul.
Yes, and then literally. Right, it is definitely gonna be. And I know we got a few more minutes before we go. These hours go by so fast, right?
Yeah.
Right, and we barely got
like
into it.
Here.
Right, we just got in here. I know it was a little overwhelming. We had the two hosts switching, and then just the building itself.
Yeah, the building's very beautiful.
Yeah, we'll explore the building more too, because
awesome.
There's a stage up there, and I already know.
Yeah. Yes, I want to see
You got it planned already, right?
Okay.
You got it planned, right?
Yes.
So you know what? Let's talk about. All right, so there we go. We got it out. We got some little exclusive news on the cookbook. What do we have coming up that I know you want to share? What's up?
Yeah, I was very excited to share this one.
What's up?
I have another music video on the way this month and another single. It's going to give you the same vibes as Wanna Be Loved, but more intimate, but on a Caribbean vibe.
Oh,
beautiful. Yes. And I have a summer project in the works.
Yes.
I won't drop the name yet, but I will say it's going to remind you of Controller, Drake, and Rihanna Work. It's going to give you those vibes. Those are the vibes I'm coming for the summer, and I'm going to zip my lips.
Oh, okay. So that's a lot for us to really be paying attention to. And we're definitely aren't going to miss anything. So in order for us to make sure that we're getting all that information, where are all the platforms that we can, all the medias, all that stuff, where can we go find all that out?
Okay, so first you can Google, and I have my website is called thehoneyallure.com. From there you can find all of my platforms, but I'll tell you them, of course. It's on Instagram, it's www.instagram, They Love Honey. I spell love LOVE, 3 E's on the love, so They Love Honey. On TikTok, it's everything Honey Allure, but you can also find me They Love Honey as well. On Twitter, it's Honey Allure with 2 E's. But most of all, on YouTube, it's Honey Allure. Subscribe to me because you don't want to miss this next music video.
No, not at all. No, not at all. The Deja Vu video has already been out.
Go watch that if you haven't.
A lot of getting a lot of traction already as it was. It's a nice video. Put a lot of work into it. The director, who was the director for that?
His name was Louise G.
All right, so we got to give him credit too.
But I wrote the treatment. Yeah.
Yes, you did, and then we talked about that.
Everyone know that.
How that. So I like that too. So please, go to all that. You're gonna find so much more about Honey Allure. I am so grateful that you came to donate your time. I am definitely taking that offer and running with it, with having you come back, because there's a lot that we can learn. And we just started the first part of your story.
So are you telling me there's going to be a part 2, Patrick?
Hey, you made the offer, and I'm like,
Okay, I'm here for it. Let's do
I'm
it.
running with it. I'm running with it. So we're gonna make it
I'm gonna
official,
run with it too.
and we're gonna learn more because really there's so much more to learn about you. So
Yes.
there's the heavy entrepreneur part that is right all underneath all of this.
Yes.
Like I said, there was the modeling part, and is there anything else I'm missing? Because I know I think I'm missing.
I
something
am doing a little
somewhere.
acting on the side, but we're working on that.
Okay.
But it's getting there.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll definitely have that conversation, and we're gonna play one more that we took from the first Stages of Love from the first EP. We are gonna go out with Foreplay.
Can I say something?
What's up? Say
This
something.
is one of those songs
What's
that
up?
they play at the end of the club, like y'all ain't gotta leave, but y'all gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And this is gonna
those
be.
vibes.
Yep, and this is.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrick. That was amazing.
You are very welcome.